The press loved this, and until the last 2 weeks, that's the thing that has had the most effect of any paper I've ever been involved in. This is the only thing I've ever written where I hear people in the supermarket talking about it.
$70,000 is the limit.
Well, it's not. It's one limit, but there's different things. So, what I think we showed is that $75,000. If you're below that, your day-to-day emotional life is seriously threatened by not having enough money, right? And of course, it's gradual. So the further you're down, the worse it is. So a lot of the goodness in our life depends on having friends, on going out for a drink together, having a meal, just not worrying about money all the time. And so the day-to-day texture of your emotional life seems to be in not so great shape if you're below that limit. And above that limit, it doesn't seem to matter very much. But if you ask people how their lives are going, right? To assess their lives as a whole, then that seems to keep on going up the more money you have. So there's no limit on that.
Okay, so you didn't prove that more money above that is worthless for well-being.
Well, it depends what your concept of well-being is. So, I'm sorry. We can put that back up again.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think part of our work agenda, which of course didn't really get picked up in the press at all, is that if you think about well-being, you have to separate the day-to-day emotional texture of your life from how content or how satisfied you are with your life. And, one of these is just like, how do you feel right now? I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm bored, I'm interested, I'm not so interested, I'm angry, I hurt. Those sort of things that are what's going on in your brain right now. But then if I say to you, how would you say your life is going as a whole? Then you would have to do a much more deeper thought experiment. And you would probably think, well, where am I compared with what I expected to be? Do I have a good education? Do I have a decent salary? Am I doing work that's meaningful to me? There's a whole lot of things that would come into that. You could imagine being quite sad and yet saying your life was going very well.
So the answer to the first question, then being below $70,000 a year
Yep.
Makes you more often answer negatively.
Yep.
Or
feel negatively.
But answering the second question of life as a
Yep.
whole, then it kind of gets better the more money you have.
That seems to be the case.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now that you will receive 8 million kroner
Yeah.
for the Nobel Prize,
Well,
how happy will you be?
Well, I mean, I was not below the $75,000 anyway, so, I don't think the day-to-day texture of my life, at least once things settle down, will be very different. I think it's not the 8 million kroner, it's the professional status that comes with this. And reading the things that people say about me, both the Nobel Committee and the things that have appeared in the press, of which I've only had time to read a tiny bit, has been that has produced a lot of happiness. But it wasn't the money that did it. It was, I think a lot of happiness is to do with relationships with other people. And anything that sort of improves that is, I think, good for your feeling on a day-to-day basis. But obviously, if I look back and say, how is my life going as a whole, then this would certainly take it up a notch or two. And again, it's not the money. I mean, it's just that I've done all this work all over my life, and it's been recognized in this wonderful way, and that's terrific.